so much about selling the houses as it once was. Like every agent can market a home. Every agent has access to the same marketing materials.
Yeah.
I think a lot of where we become valuable now is that lead up in the journey to that point in time when you sell. Like giving you that information, that inside knowledge, that better understanding so you can make the right decisions when your time comes to selling that.
Going once, going twice, sold. You're listening to The Property Pod.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Property Pod, your weekly engagement into real estate here in the Hobart Marketplace. I'm your host, Aaron Horn, and I've been trying to fill the seats the last few weeks. I come in today and I have got one empty seat that I didn't know about.
But you've got me.
I've got you back.
I'm back.
Patrick Berry's back in the studio. Johnny Mack is in Adelaide?
Adelaide. Flew out last night.
Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
well, there you go. I missed him by a day. We are recording a day late, so I'll give him a leave pass on it today.
I think he thought that we were filming yesterday, but it didn't happen because obviously you were away yesterday. So
Yeah, no, my weeks are all out of whack at the moment. Mum will be listening to this in Singapore and she'll say, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm looking after my other grandchildren. So shout out to...
get your priorities right.
Exactly, Di. We've got the Property Pod to record and you're over in Singapore just having
Living
fun
life.
in the sun, living the life at Marina Bay Sands and all that
Sweating
stuff.
bullets, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, apparently they just live in the pool now. So loving life. So, yeah, Mum's over there getting set up and you've been travelling the world. So everyone's been away except for me. Hit us with basically today, all I want to do is break down your trip. First, you went to Sydney to learn from Gary Vee.
I did. That was very fun.
So let's run through it chronologically. Before we get to the big show, run us through kind of what you did. You went to Sydney and what was the conference there?
It all started a little bit ago. I got served an ad to see Gary Vee, and anyone that follows him online knows that he's just amazing. Like his videos online and the way he describes scenarios is just different.
I think the first thing you ever showed me was that like he was a multi-millionaire guy and he was still going to houses and flipping stuff from op
Garage
shops,
sales.
garage sales. So I was like, why? And you're like, no, it's good. Keep watching.
Yeah. So like this opportunity to speak to him was the first time I've seen him come to Australia. Apparently it's been before, but I've never.
You weren't following along then?
Yeah. So this opportunity came up and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I've always wanted to see Gary Vee. And then so I had to go to Sydney for that. And then I started researching and discovered that Inman, another conference that I've been to in the past in Las Vegas, happened to be on a week later. And I said to Abby, well, we're already halfway there being in Sydney because it's 2 flights to get to
It's two flights
Vegas.
regardless.
Yeah.
I don't know if distance-wise and time-wise it does make sense to be halfway there. But
I was working on the theory. I'd already done one leg of the flight.
ain't no thing.
Decided to tap on a full week of learning and head over to Inman as well and do 2 conferences back to back.
yeah, fair enough. Look, you've expanded your mind. You expanded it here locally with someone from over there.
Yeah.
And then you've travelled there.
But look, it started off awesome. We went to obviously Sydney first and had Gary and a couple of other speakers as well that were there. The earlier speakers in the day were a nice mix. It was sort of those motivational speakers that are there to pump up your tires.
Yep.
And then there was a lot of talk around funnel advertising. So most people listening to us probably have experienced funnel advertising but don't realize they have.
Yes.
That's where the internet uses the algorithm to figure out who might be interested in buying a product. You get served an ad.
I got caught in one the other day and I know they got me and I read the stats on, normally it's not the first time you see the ad that you get fallen into the funnel. Normally it's not the second time. Normally it's probably the 4th or 5th time. And it came up as about the 5th time. I was like, man, this keeps popping up for me.
Yeah, and it's normally a product you look at and you're like, you know what, $29.95 for that ebook on how to be a better real estate agent.
Yep.
That sounds pretty good. Maybe I should buy that.
Yeah.
And it sucks you in.
Yep.
And then, so we spent a lot of time learning about funnels and how they work. And it was quite amusing because this entire conference was sold via funnels. So
Yeah, so can you explain that?
I was there was because I'd been served the ad and I was coached into clicking on the ad and
Yep.
then from there buying a ticket, which then got me to this event.
So you could say like somebody in this space, like if someone internationally was coming to Australia, they probably might market through normal means of marketing in other ways. Like it might be in the newspaper, it might be a radio ad, or they might go on a press tour or something to say, I'm coming to Australia, come and check out my
show
or my conference. This one was primarily or 100% only marketed through digital marketing.
Yep.
Through a funnel to say, let me show you that this will work.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming some people then found out about it from friends and family that said, I'm going to this, and other people are like, oh, wow, I want to get on that. And so you forward the link to them. But the majority of tickets sold were somebody sitting in front of a computer saying, right, who do we think is going to best suit this conference? let's build a profile
Yep.
and let's serve the ad to that profile and then try to sell out this conference. And they did.
You got caught in the net and sold out that bad boy.
2,000 seats, I think, were sold.
Yep.
I think there was a few more they could have sold, but a bloody good effort considering the cost of advertising in funnel advertising versus traditional mainstream marketing advertising is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So to be able to sell that many tickets using such a different approach to advertising, it was interesting.
Well, we've played in the space with kind of running a seminar or a conference here and there, and we've gone.
Well, we've done the one with Rams. That was
exactly
a similar approach.
And you'll put out kind of an organic post to the people that follow along to your marketing in the online space, and 3 or 4 people might click on the link, and then you'll find out, they clicked on the link. Don't really commit to it. Put a little bit of money behind it. Target it to a specific people, like people who have been looking into first home buying. Boom. Sell out the whole thing. So it's kind of, finding that space. It's interesting we're talking about this because I think iOS 17 has just come in the last week and all of that is changing.
Oh, really?
So this whole week I've been looking into, what's going to happen. So I've been following all these things that are saying it's all changing.
Well,
so what we're talking about now might change.
Everything's always changing though at the end of the day. So tech is forever evolving.
Which is a perfect kind of jumping off point to get onto your next plane and travel across the world.
So
head to
14 hours later and I'm in Viva Las Vegas, baby. Yeah, so that's, I've left Sydney and I'm really pumped and excited. I've learnt from the mastermind Gary. I was probably on a plane at the same time he was heading back to the States.
Probably, yeah.
If not, no, he was in Brisbane the day I left. So, but then we then went to a conference called Inman, which, look, I don't expect anyone to know. It's sort of a real estate based conference.
Yeah, so the first thing you went to wasn't real estate based. That was just kind of marketing, digital marketing online, whereas Inman is a conference, Inman Connect.
Inman Connect is the conference. Inman is the website that is the back of it, and it's basically a digital news platform in America that solely specializes in real estate news.
And Inman isn't an acronym for anything. It's the guy's name, Brad Inman.
Yep, that's correct. But the difference is with the conferences that Inman Connect put on and the way that they run their events, they're more, in my opinion, they're more future thinking conferences. So it's more about, what is working for some people and how can they leverage that technology in the future. So they talk a lot about technology. They talk a lot about scripts and dialogues and how to better connect with clients and what clients are looking for in today's market.
Yep.
But most of the things I take away from it is not stuff that you implement tomorrow. It's stuff that you work on implementing over a longer stretch goal. So something that, right, this is really cool. They really get you to think about, what is coming. And, the buzzword at the moment is AI.
Yes.
AI is the buzzword. That's what everyone's talking about. There's talks that in our industry alone, within the next 24 to 36 months, 30% of our job will be automated by AI.
Yep.
And what does that mean? Does that mean people lose their jobs? Does that mean, people have more time to specialize and upskill in other areas? And that's what a lot of the talk was around at the conference.
Yeah, so I'd be really keen to kind of find out more about that next step of it because we've kind of played with it here. Like me and you are right into this area of being like, how can we use some of these tools to become better at what we do, both on the media side of things and then...
Well, actually, one of the speakers talked about AI and digital video editing, and they used the exact tool that we use to edit this podcast.
Yeah, okay.
So it's kind of cool that because, you've been playing in the space and I've been playing in the space, that other people are using similar tools to us. So,
yeah.
For people that don't know, Aaron's filming today. What are we? 2 cameras or 3?
We're 2 today, but normally there's 3 or 4.
Yep. And we currently use an AI program to edit the show.
Amazing. It's such a time saver for something that would have taken me, 3 or 4 hours in the past to kind of go through everything, line it up, synchronize, make sure everything plays in. Even before I was using the Stream Deck and kind of not concentrating on what we're talking about and editing on the fly. Now it's literally cutting it up in front of me. This autopod is amazing. Yeah. And then now they've just added another feature where it'll be cutting out short clips where it's recognizing, this is a really good feature. You should use this for your social media. So they keep adding on to their product the same way that...
now, I guess my first question is, does that scare you that you're going to lose your job?
Look, interestingly, a bunch of the stuff as it comes through, you think, I'm going to lose my job. And we could even talk about, remember when I was taking the photos, coming back, editing all the photos by myself, I was so hesitant to hand that over because I was like, I'll lose my job. I won't have anything to do. They'll just get some random bloke off the street to come and take photos with their iPhone and I'll be out on my ass.
But
No, pivoted to, now we're going to kind of advance
do
that, and take it to the next level.
I reckon that's what people probably need to understand the most about AI is not to see it as a threat, but see it as an enhancement to allow you to do other things. We're all busy in life every single day.
And getting busier and busier.
Yeah, and we all want to do more things. A couple of people described AI as like the digital assistants just to help you out. Like they all said that AI can't replace the human factor. Like it's amazing at what it can do. It's amazing at how it help you be more efficient, but it can't replace you as the expert.
Yeah.
It can help you become an expert faster. So another interesting thing they talked about for anyone that's been thinking about getting into real estate, with how much technology there is online and how much data there is online, what once would take, 5 to 6 years, maybe 10 years to become an expert in real estate, potentially you could upskill to that sort of level in, 6 to 12 months now with the way that AI works.
Yeah.
And so
I guess any prop tech really can kind of, take you from being like that boots on the ground or letterbox dropping and being like, oh no, let's like build my community based around like Aaron Murray is a really good example in our
isn't he ever?
In our offices as being someone who's like, look, I'm willing to put myself out there and expose myself to. I was literally at a golf day on the weekend, and 3 people said to me, "That guy in your office, like, he's pretty wild, isn't he?" I'm like, "Yeah, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Used to think he was a real douchebag. Now I'm on Team Azza. Watch him. He's going to be a high flyer."
Yeah, and look, he is a great example of going from nothing to really strong social proof in his backyard.
Yeah.
Like what's he been working 2 years in real estate?
Yeah.
And he's now, selling flat out. He's got so much social proof, so much credibility in the marketplace. Work's coming to him now. He's not having to search for it as hard as what he once was. But that's a great example. He went out and he leveraged technology. He leveraged the understanding of databases and how you can use automation to be able to make your job more efficient. And
then, as you say, this artificial intelligence stuff's coming in and is able to analyze the data a lot quicker than something like he could do if he was like working through the numbers by himself.
Yeah.
To then free up his time to be like, all right, how do I leverage this into more sales?
Well, it was amazing the other day. Everyone's heard of ChatGPT. We've been playing around. We connected ChatGPT to the internet. So what
that sounds like we're lining up Skynet.
Yeah. Okay. For people that don't understand how it works, most people probably don't understand, but ChatGPT is just a database of knowledge that's closed off from the internet. So
I think September 2021 was the last time it got any new information.
So every time you ask it to write something for you, it can reference its own database, but it can't go out and find new information.
No.
So we recently plugged ours into the internet by installing a plugin.
It sounds so dangerous every time you say it.
I know, but it
panics me. Imagine if it comes back to the day that the internet was broke was these 2 idiots connected it to the internet.
But it's amazing. So I just connected mine to read PDFs. Did you know you could do this?
Yeah.
So I've had mine reading a PDF that came out last night from CoreLogic RP Data, which is our largest data company.
Yep.
And I said, you need to summarize this for me so that I don't have to read the 25-page report. I basically told it, go find the information that is relevant to the Tasmanian marketplace and summarize it for me.
And which is really interesting. Like if you're not selling in Melbourne or Sydney, you might want to know some of the facts about kind of the median there. And you can put in like, hit me with the median on these areas. But you want to know what's happening in your backyard. You want people who are asking you, what's happening in the Hobart marketplace? I've got that easy. Oh, did you read the 25 pages?
Yeah.
So I don't have time for that.
Yeah. So I'm not sitting here saying that as agents we're becoming lazy. I'm just saying we're getting creative on how we are absorbing the knowledge that we need to know to better serve our community. So it was really, the AI chats were really interesting around that. And another big key takeaway that Inman really pushed hard on is what they call long format marketing, which is what we're doing today, this podcast. And really, basically, as people have more access to the internet and people have their own ability to research the marketplace, like once upon a time, agents we described it as the gatekeepers of sale prices. Like if you wanted to know what a house sold, you had to ask me.
Yep.
Now you can go do all that research yourself. We've said it on this podcast before that buyers that we're working with become almost like little mini experts on that little backyard that they're looking to buy in, almost better than what we are.
Oh,
because we're trying to, know every block of land through to $1 million houses, through to every suburb, where some of the buyers we work with are just looking at Glenorchy only. 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom.
Yeah, and they'll be able to tell you, 1-3 streets oversold for this much the other day. And you're like, that one slipped through my net because my net's so much bigger.
So a lot of the conference spoke about, where does your value as an agent become? And it started talking about long format marketing and just giving information, providing people with that knowledge so that when they are researching, that you become the credible source and then they come to talk to you.
Yep.
So we've been doing it for a while now, but it was nice to know that that's becoming where we should be. So
yeah, we've been on the right track. At least it's nice to reiterate that kind of, even the start of this podcast was let's unshackle the gates and say, we're happy to give you the info.
Well, I really liked it. I asked ChatGPT when I connected it to the internet to write me a market report on Glenorchy.
Yep.
And it went out and it searched the internet and actually pulled back a blog from our website.
I know. This was so exciting.
Data out of our website. And it basically read something along the lines of such and such at 414 Property Co. believes blah, 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 blah. It didn't know that I worked at 414. It didn't know that that was my website. So I could have been any real estate agent in Hobart asking it to do this script.
Yeah.
And it went and sourced our site as a reference point.
When you called me to tell me, you would sound like a giddy little school kid.
I was really excited.
Oh my God, dude, you're not going to believe this.
I was like pretty impressed that it decided that our information was credible enough for it to include in the report that it was putting together. So it's a really interesting approach now to how you market yourself in real estate and how you hopefully become valuable to the consumers that are listening to us.
Yeah.
Is more that we need to be providing important information to people so they can make better understanding and better decisions. It's not so much about selling the houses as it once was. Like every agent can market a home. Every agent has access to the same marketing materials.
Yeah.
I think a lot of where we become valuable now is that lead up in the journey to that point in time when you sell. Like giving you that information, that inside knowledge, that better understanding so you can make the right decisions when your time comes to selling that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one of the things that 414 has always done is been that kind of leader and looking forward or tackling that. Like you've won the Innovation Award here a few times, and have you?
Yeah.
You had this look on your face like, I've never won it.
I was like, a lot. I couldn't count how many. That's why. It's like, don't ask me how many, please.
Well, there you go. That's a good example of you've always been open to innovation and looking forward and not being stuck in using outdated or you've never been scared to push forward and try something new. So rather than being like, oh, this is the way it's always worked, this is the way we're going to continue to do it, it's this new thing's coming. Mm-hmm. Let's jump on the train while we can. And like you say, like we're long form marketing now. We've been using the same program that they're pumping up at these conferences. We've been looking at them early and kind of trying to engage in them. So that's one strength of kind of why you would choose 414 over another agency if you're looking to be relevant in the local market.
That's it. And look, I'm sure more will come out on our podcast over the coming weeks and months from what Inman has taught us and what knowledges that I've sort of brought away from it. But I've got pages and pages of notes of things to go through.
Yeah, I looked in on that other room before and you had kind of the whiteboard starting to get marked up and it looked like one of those things where, you connect all the red bits of string like you're trying to solve a mystery. Like, how does this bit connect to that bit? It's going to get there, and we always kind of have these marked up walls where we're planning.
Yeah, I do love our boards. Anyone that comes to visit our office will see whiteboards around the place, and it's like that spider graph. You've got that central box, and then there's all these little arms coming off it everywhere. And it's not unusual for us to have multiples of these happening at any one time with different projects we're working on. And to me, that's what excites me about it is how can we think of the next thing to help our clients and have a better experience in the industry.
Oh, look, 100%. Like, and the other reason to go to a conference like that on the other side of the world is like I've been to something like, or you've been to something like this before. You get a lot out of it. You're like, yeah, I'm halfway there if I'm in Sydney, mate. Like I'm so close. But other people might say, oh no, I'm too scared to take that risk. And
well, I've had multiple people say, what can you learn from an American real estate conference since I've been back?
Yeah,
and I'm like, why is it any different to an Australian real estate conference? Oh, well, they do things differently. I'm like, but do they?
Yeah.
Like, we're all marketing ourselves as agents. We're all doing effectively the same thing. Yes, their terminology is different and the way that they interact with their clients might be different, but core aspects are all the same.
If you can break down that core stuff and bring it back into your market and be like, I understand my market. I can take these things from the other place and try and maximize what I can do in my space.
Yeah, no.
You're killing it.
And that's it. That's what I really enjoy out of Inman is just trying to come away with those small nuggets that are a little bit different and outside the square so we can bring them back here and hopefully give that extra 5%.
100%.
Awesome.
I think it's bang on. Well, that was awesome. Hopefully we will have J-Mac back next week. If not, I'm going to be away. I'm just going to keep the rotating desk.
And kudos to you guys while I was away. You had some cracker episodes while I was gone.
Yeah, the one with Ree from Do It Finance, really, really, really good stuff.
Yeah, no, that was awesome to see that you can fill the spot with a guest host when I'm gone.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was just like, man, I'm dying to pod, and we connected over TikTok, which was crazy, and then I've listened to her I mentioned her podcast on the show while she was here. So Rhiannon from Do It Finance. It's called This Busy Life, and I found it on Spotify. She was surprised it was still up. She said, "Oh, I didn't realize it was still out there." It is still out there, and if you're interested in hardworking people, jump on there. There's some really cool guests on that. So shout out to those people.
It's good to be back.
We'll be back next week with even more podcast.
Sounds good. See you then, guys.
See ya. Bye. You have been listening to The Property Pod, recorded and edited by 414 Media House in conjunction with 414 Property Code.
This podcast is general information only, and the thoughts and views expressed is the opinion of our panel, and listeners should always seek then use their own investigation into any topic we discuss to ensure they fully understand their own situation.
It does not constitute and should not be relied on as purchasing, selling, financial or investment advice or recommendations, express or implied, and it should not be used as an invitation to take up any agent or investment services. No investment decision or activity should be undertaken on the basis of this information without first seeking qualified and professional advice.